Sean is free, guys.
Well, today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience that's bugging. It's one or two.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stars Podcast, which stands for Sons Taken Away Remains Remembered Sincerely, A Mother's Love. And I am your host, Star Nicole. Tonight will be a blind interview. The guest tonight, she doesn't want her face on camera, so what we're going to do is just everything will be through FaceTime without the video. And her name is Tanya. I won't use her last name. Her son's name is Reginald Williams, and they call him Reggie. So I'm about to give her a call right now, and then we could talk about it. Yes, hello?
You can hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can. This is our second time. Guys, I called her already, and we spoke for about 5 minutes, but then I actually need to get a new camera. I'm pretty new to this still, so we're gonna actually go back and talk about Reggie as a whole. So sorry that we have to restart it, if you don't mind.
No, not a problem.
Okay, so I'll just go over like the questions that I did ask as far as Reggie excelling in football, along with his academics as well. He was a smart student. And
Yes, he was an exceptionally smart student. He was an honor roll student from kindergarten.
Mhm.
He's had the presidential honor roll. He has the principal's honor roll. He loved football. He played 4 positions. His dream was to become an NFL football player. And as a young boy, starting from 2 years old, most children have teddy bears,
Mhm.
blankets, or pacifiers. Reggie had a football, and he had to cuddle that thing at night.
Aw.
And if that football got out of his grasp, eyes half open,
Mhm.
Reggie would get that football and hold it again. So he was that passionate about football. And after his demise, I found out that he was a coach to one of my neighbor's children. I didn't even know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy that when your child passes away, you hear so many stories. I mean, whether it's good or bad, but usually the good outweighs the bad. And you would say to yourself, I never even knew he was out there doing those kind of things, and you're even more proud of him and wish that you could have told him how proud you were of him.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. A lot of people had a lot of good things to say about him.
Very
One
nice.
thing, he knew how to mediate. It could be 2 neighbors arguing, 2 friends. Reggie he was the voice of reason. He can get you to calm down and sit down. He brings bottles of water, and you're talking to Reggie, and he's giving solutions.
That's nice.
He's always been considerate, love family.
Real family man.
Absolutely.
Nice.
32 years old, unmarried, no children. He loved his friends as well. He has a core group of friends that he had from a young age.
Right.
And still to this day, they're in contact. It may not be every day, but here or there, when I cross their mind or Reggie crosses their mind, they'll call me. And I get stories there too that we can laugh, because what happened to Reggie is not everything Reggie is. That's the last part of Reggie.
Exactly.
He had a whole life before he was murdered, and I prefer to focus on that versus him being gone.
Yes.
And I do know he's gone. birthdays, holidays, and now he has an angel date. So I'm aware that he's gone, and I feel down sometimes because I miss him.
Right.
That lack of companionship from my son. Because yes, I have 5 children.
Okay.
One's in heaven.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Your forever angel.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the thing with that, I miss him so much.
Yeah.
He would make me laugh. You know, he was very concerned with how I was feeling.
Right.
And he was there even if I was sick, you know.
He'll take care of you.
He took care of me.
Yes.
He had that heart.
Right.
Very hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he had his jovial side with us, but when it came to work, he went to work. He was diligent in what he did, and he did it well.
And what did he do as a job, as a career?
He's an HVAC technician, and he was self-employed. Correct.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he was very good at it. Different apartment buildings around here contracted him for work.
Nice.
Yeah, so, you know, they seen him grow up, and they also admired what he was doing.
Right.
So, and he did good work. So that was very important.
That's nice. And so what would you want the world... Well, first off, what was his best features? I know with parents, you'll say everything he did was his best feature, but what memories do you have of Reggie that like really brings a smile to your face when you think of it? I mean, outweighing everything else, but 1 or 2 things in his life and your life together that makes you really smile. And
he was real.
Mm-hmm.
Honorable.
Mm-hmm.
A peaceful guy. He had this wisdom. Just a good guy.
Right.
Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Loyal. I think he possessed.
He had the whole package.
He possessed the greatness.
Yeah.
And he blessed our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest role to me is what he played on this earth as being my son.
Yes. Indeed. Yeah. Yes.
A lot of love in his heart. A lot of love.
And you know, they say that legends never die, and the things that he did while he was here on earth, I'll put him in that category as a legend.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I always put a hashtag, and I would like all us to share that under our babies' names one day when we feel like it. Mm-hmm. Legends live on
forever,
way after they're gone.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's true. Mm-hmm. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
They live on. And where do they live on? When we speak their names, when we post about them.
Mm-hmm. In our hearts, everything we do as a whole, in our lives moving forward, they're there.
Absolutely.
They're there.
You know, and us standing and not falling, because we can fall apart eternally, but we can't actually fall apart in real life. We have to stand. Yeah. Because what I always do when I just want to curl up in the bed and stay there, mm-hmm. I said, you know, I can't feel guilty living my life because he always wanted me to be good. Right. So even if I don't feel good on the outside, I make it my business to get up every day. Mm-hmm. I make it my business to take a shower, to take care of my hair, to go outside, to feel sun rays, to feel the wind, to, you know, tend to my flowers, my plants.
To still be able to live, you know?
Yes.
Still be able to live. Yes.
Because grief can be crippling.
Tell me about it. It sure can. People, you know, we know each other's pain and each other's, you know, thoughts and the way we react or think or anything because of the fact that we did lose our sons. And you have other people that, and that's the main reason why I wanted to have this platform for everyone that has lost a child, because I could relate to you. You know, you have other people that may say, I'm sorry, and, you know, I'm sorry, and my condolences. And like I said in my other prior interviews, is that they could say but so much, but after a year, 2, 3 years has passed, and they don't know what to say. And then if you're like still kind of down and out, and you even have some people that will be like, well, it's time to get over it, or this and that. But how can you get over losing a child? How can you get over of having to bury a child when they were supposed to be able to bury you? It's
Absolutely.
yeah. We needed this platform. We needed it.
And I'm very grateful because you're a pioneer. First of all, it's a
Thank you so
Reverend.
much.
Second of all, you're building a community for us. And it's not just healing for you, it's
Right.
also a place where we could be candid and talk about our children and, describe who they were
Definitely.
prior
Yes.
to being murdered.
Definitely. Yes. It's not just based on their death. It's more them as a whole, as far as from. That's why I usually in my interviews I may ask, how was your child growing up from like a young age into his manhood, and then unfortunately up to the day that they did pass away, because you want to know these stories. I mean, some people have some amazing stories about their children, and I would love for the world to get to know them, not only as this person that they got killed, or they're deceased and this is what happened to them. We want to know more about our children and how they were when they were here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell everyone, after a while, you're right. Once they get the hot topic,
Right.
The details, and I've said it many times, once the body drops,
Right.
the calls stop,
Exactly.
the visits stop.
Yeah.
And we need you more.
Yeah.
We still need you.
Yeah. Because they don't know what to say or how to react. So it's like they fall back. But a real friend at least come to me and say, what can I do? If you need me to just be here to listen to you, or I have my shoulder, you can cry on my shoulder, hold my hand, or let's talk about, when he was a little boy and I used to babysit, or anything like that, But a lot of people, they really don't know what to say. And that's why I always say, if you don't know what to say, it's better not to say anything at all, because you may say the wrong thing. We're already triggered, right? So you might say the wrong thing, and that could just end our friendship, or even if we're in a relationship, because you have also a lot of parents that are married and they end up getting a divorce because it's just too much to bear. And one parent may take it harder than the other one. So the one that's not taking it as badly as the other one, they may, after a while, they may be the ones to tell the other spouse, you know what, that time is, let's get over it. And it's no getting over. It's not.
Well, we got to look how children are created.
Yeah.
A man makes a child out of pleasure. A woman bears a
9
child
months.
out of pain.
That pain.
It's pain.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And there's definitely a connection there because mom carries you, mom nourishes you.
Right.
Mom, dad's anticipating, but you're growing inside of me. Yes. I can feel your every move.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy though, but and we have to talk more about fathers though, because you do have a lot of fathers that are good fathers. You have some fathers that they're raising their children, the mothers aren't there. And when certain times come around, like say Father's Day, people don't show out as much as they do for Mother's Day. And some men, they're amazing men, fathers and everything else, as far as and they don't get the flowers while they're here. They don't get the praise like they should get. And so
I agree, but at the same time, fathers are outside of the house working. Even if mother works, she still has to come home to her job.
Yeah. She has a never ending job. She has a 9 to 5, and then you come home. You gotta take care of the kids, make sure homework is done, get them their baths, get them dinner, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's
exactly. True. So we definitely have more time.
Yeah, definitely.
With the children versus and more hands on.
Right.
And I'm not saying that the single fathers don't, but it's not a mother's touch.
It's not the same thing. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. It's true. So as far as how has your and your children's lives been? I know it's been impacted for the worse, as far as, but I mean, I know you do have Rose now of Miami Gardens. Explain to everyone exactly what Rose stands for, and what is it pertaining to. And
No, absolutely. Miami Gardens Rose
Mhm.
was born after Reggie passed away.
Okay.
And the reason I didn't name it after him,
Right.
because when God made Reggie, he made one and he was done.
Right.
There's no replication. He has no children. So this is Miami Gardens Rose. Miami Gardens is the city that we live in. Rose is for resilience over silence and gun violence. We okay the violence when we're silent. And I have vowed to myself to not be quiet. And hold on one moment. Hold on. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I do apologize. I was addressing Mario.
No problem.
That's Reggie's
Yes.
youngest
Younger brother, yeah. No problem.
Correct. So Miami Gardens Rose, resilience over silence, ending gun violence. And the reason being, people see things and don't say anything.
Right.
Like when my son first got shot, we had no hints. Nobody could put these two gentlemen on the scene. Nobody saw something or said anything.
Said anything. If you see something, say something. Exactly. And nothing was said.
Do something.
Okay.
Correct.
Right. Exactly.
So I said to myself, you have a voice, you're going to use it. And for those that are paralyzed in silence or can't speak up for themselves or can't email or don't know who are their local politicians to really make an impact.
Right.
That's what Miami Gardens Rose is all about. It's about policy changes, and I feel as not one person, but as a whole, we can make changes because Black and brown people, when we unite, we're unbreakable. And the thing is, it's a lot of who's killing us?
Ourselves.
It's no longer lynching. Who's killing us? Right. So we have a response, right? Which is the police.
Right.
We need prevention. Yes. We need preventative measures.
Yes.
We have to ask for these things. All of our sons, I can only imagine, they weren't killed by responsible gun owners. Either the gun was a straw purchase gun, meaning a gun that was sold on the street. Or a ghost gun, because now what they're doing are manufacturing guns without a serial number. All they need is a website, an address to send the parts, and a 3D printer. Okay? Yep. And you have an unserialized weapon that can take someone's life, and nobody would know the difference if there's no DNA on the gun.
That's
and
right. Most of the time, that's what it is. Right.
Most robbers and most murderers, they use gloves. They use the shiesty mask.
Right.
Because we didn't know who that young man was because he was masked up.
Okay.
Correct. So, with Reginald, I'm gonna go back a little bit because the day that I said once he completed the job, he stopped to the bank.
Right.
And I asked him, would he have lunch with me? He needed to move a friend that had recently been evicted at that time. He had to be followed somewhere down 441. That's one of the main roads over here in Miami.
Okay.
And when he went to the building, his friend wasn't there that he was supposed to meet him there, but he was going ahead to proceed to go sit in front of the apartment until he came.
Right.
In the hallway, there was a white Dodge that pulled up, a Hispanic young male, and we didn't know he was Black at the time because we'll get to that part. He came out. He pulled his gun out on my son. My son disarmed him. Reggie beat him because Reggie can fight.
Right.
Reggie beat him. And in the midst of that, Reggie's back was turned, but they're like in the hallway. And how we know this because of a ring cam video that one of the tenants shared with the police. the guy that killed my son got out of the driver's seat with a 40 caliber gun, and he shot my son 10 times in the back. Okay. My son dropped somebody at the building. It was like 3 different calls because, police can tell you these things. They have all that on record.
Right.
When the ambulance came, and this happened at around 2:30 in the afternoon, okay? When the ambulance came, he was severe. They were asking him who did it. He was pointing at himself like, okay, I need help here.
Right.
So he doesn't want to talk. He's pointing at himself. The ambulance took him to a church nearby. Okay. He had to be airlifted to Jackson Memorial's Ryder Trauma Center. My son survived 11 and a half hours of surgery. And they had to remove part of his intestines, one of his kidneys, and he had severe liver damage. Severe. And he survived 5 hours after surgery, so he ultimately bled to death.
Oh, so that's
okay?
Yeah.
So when they weren't going to allow us to go in the room because he was critical. But I asked the detective, because before your child passes away, if they're not dead on the scene or dead on arrival, you have what is called Victims Crime Unit. So that detective, I asked him, could he please use his influence because they're not going to let us up there. You see my family. We have control here.
Right.
And he got the approval.
Okay.
And when we went up there, I was like, Reggie, your ma here? So my daughter said, look, and the monitor was moving like up. It was rapid.
He knew you were there. Yeah.
And I said, baby, I love you. We've been here waiting for you. And she said, Ma, look. And it said 143. I hate I didn't take a picture of it. But considering what was going on, it just didn't seem like a Kodak moment to me.
Right.
So, but I saw it with my eyes. It said 143. I said, I know you love me. I love you too. And I grabbed his left hand and I was holding him, rubbing his hair. And I said, Reggie, I know you can hear me. I know you fought so hard. I need you to fight.
Yeah.
Fight like Reggie fights. I need you to fight.
Right.
And he fought. And I'm not going to lie, he was getting blood transfusions. And I looked at his, his catheter, the urine bag was attached. It was full of blood. I was then told, what damage happened.
Right.
And after that, I just kept seeing the blood. Like it was puddling out of him. My oldest daughter, she works at Jackson.
Okay.
PICU. She works in PICU unit, so she sees, a lot of trauma cases there as well.
Right.
And she was like, Ma, the blood is clotting outside of his body. It's supposed to be clotting on the inside. But I mean, they cooler after cooler. And I'm going to tell you something. When I start seeing where his blood pressure was like, it was at 36. It was very low. It was very low. And I think the bottom number was a double-digit number as well. And then I started thinking, what if my son can feel all this?
Right, exactly, yeah.
So the doctor, the surgeon called me out again. And she said, this will be the last attempt. I said, thank you for letting me know, but I got to go back in there because I got to be by my son. I don't want him thinking his mom's not here.
Yeah.
And so I already heard that. And then after a while, it was so bloody in there. It went from a normal room to there's blood spatter here. They got to keep changing padding. I didn't even know what I was going to see under that cover, but I'll get to that too.
Right.
And then finally, it was like single digits. I couldn't even tell them enough, okay. I held his hand and I said, son, you fought hard, but if you have to go, I understand.
Right.
And I love you. You haven't failed nobody, including yourself. I love you.
Yes, yes.
So I looked at her and I nodded. The nurse proceeded to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not people always say pull the plug. There's no plug. It's a dial.
Oh, yeah.
And she walked over there somberly and she turned that dial. And I had my head on my son's chest and I could barely hear his heartbeat.
Right, yeah.
And the monitors, as I heard that when she turned the dial completely, because I'm listening to him and I'm watching her.
Right.
There was never no jolt in his body. There was never, the machines didn't make any alerts. So basically the machines
just went peacefully.
The machines were keeping him alive. If it weren't for the machines, he would have been gone. Right. It was like a prolonged process, and I felt guilty about that because I had to see my son. Right. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, I stayed an additional hour. Mm-hmm. My children didn't protest. Mom's gonna be here, and each one of my children were taking turns coming up. Mario wasn't there. He was with my oldest granddaughter because we didn't want the younger ones to come to the hospital.
And see him like that, yeah.
Absolutely. So now, not with my oldest daughter, she stepped back. She just was looking at her brother. I don't know. That's when my camera came out. My phone, my iPhone. Mm-hmm. I just started taking pictures of his face, his arms, his legs, and it was time to lift the cover. My son was still open. It was like a sheer adhesive keeping him together because his organs were too swollen to shut him, to close him back up. Oh, okay. So they tried to run. I said, don't run on me. Don't run up on me. Brooklyn, New York came out. Don't run up on me. I said, I'm not disturbing the peace here. I want to take pictures. I got a right to take pictures of my son in any state he is in. Right. So then I let the cover back down. They fixed it neatly. And I just stood there watching it in disbelief. Like, my son is gone. What? Yeah. What? Yeah. In shock. Yeah. Going on the car ride. My daughter, they're talking to me. Ma, why you looking out the window like that? Ma, don't throw yourself out. I said, why would I throw myself out? Yeah. I'd never be able to see your brother again, my son. Right. If I throw myself out this car and hurt myself, I'm going to hell because that's intentional. What happened to your brother, that was intentional, but he didn't do it to himself. He didn't cause it, yeah. Somebody did it to him. That's right. And I got to live long enough to get to the bottom of this. That's right. Get justice, yep. Absolutely. Yep. So people were calling, their father was calling, and it was sad to say. He said, you said he got out of surgery. Yeah. And he also passed away. He succumbed to his injuries. He ultimately bled to death. Yeah. There was nothing they can do. And it's hard because I'm going to tell you something. That happened 2 days before my youngest. At that time, he was 10 turning 11. Okay? And that was in 2024. So he's going to have a birthday this year and he'll be 13. But again, I have to boost myself up. Because always around that date, that time, exactly. Yeah, yep. It's 2 days before. Full circle. And with Mario, he didn't want to go out to eat. Yeah. He didn't want to go to any place where you can play games. Yeah. I was like, baby, what you want to do for your birthday? Oh, I want a crab boil, and I want my family here. I want everybody to come here. Yeah. So I had them, but let me tell you something. I wasn't cutting no onions. I was dealing with the garlic and all this stuff. But I would have to duck off and cry, but catch myself and bring myself together. Yeah. Because if I break down, they're going to break down. Yeah, right. And I'm so used to being strong for my children because I'm always cautious about their mental health. They're not responsible for me. And whatever my struggles or my battles, they're not theirs. They're not here to save me. I'm here to make a way for them. Yeah, 4 out of 5 are adults. So I have to pour that energy in Mario too, because I'm not saying they don't need me, but they're adults. They can take care of themselves. And he still needs me.
He's still the baby. Yeah.
He's dependent on me, and I have to be whole. It's okay to have grief. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be hurt. But what I cannot do is fold like a lawn chair, because he needs me.
Yeah,
definitely. He needs me.
He does. So what do you find, like, as far as when you're all alone, and no one's around you, you're feeling vulnerable and stuff, like, how do you find comfort? Do you find comfort anymore, or do you? Because me, I just go to sleep. It's the only thing that takes kind of my mind off of things. It's not other thing. There's nothing else to that point that could really ease me,
Well, I pray to God.
Yeah.
And I cry.
Yeah.
I get to cry because nobody's here.
Yeah.
I don't have to go sneak in the shower or go in my car and sit in my car.
Okay, yeah, so your other children, okay, all right.
They don't live with me, but I got one daughter that lives in the same complex, different buildings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and me, her, and Reggie always lived like feet away from each other. Oh, absolutely. Okay. And so, and I have a set time to cry. Okay, Mario's going on the bus. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. I can have some tears. I can have a coffee over my tears. You know what I'm saying? Right,
yeah, that's why I asked you, because you have a lot of people that, if they still have children at home, you don't know when, you don't want them to see you crying. But I mean, you're human and you're the mother, so it's like, it's the weighing the options. It's like, you don't know what to do sometimes. You want to be strong for the other children, but you are going to cry about it because Virtue is your baby,
Absolutely, but I don't do it around them.
Yeah.
Because, they can see my eyes watery. Now, my oldest, she lives here. Okay. So, she lives in a complex.
So she sees you. Yeah.
Yeah, so one morning I was in my car, and I was crying. So she was playing a tune. So I was just like, to try to pep myself up, I started rocking the car to the beat. Yeah. And then I poked my butt up and started doing that little baby twerk. Little twerk. Little twerk. Not, the grandma twerk. Yeah. The grandma twerk. I went twerk. So, you see how you're laughing? I pumped myself back up, and I'm like, lights, camera, action. Mm-hmm. Right. And I came out, and immediately, you've been crying? I said, but I'm all right. I'm okay. Yeah. I said, sometimes I cry. I'm going to cry, you know. Yeah. She said, me too, Ma. I don't know. She's like, different places. It might just come on me. I might be in Publix and I have the urge to cry. Yeah. I might be in the car. I might take a shower. And those are places, I said, those are places where, it touches me to cry.
Yeah, because sometimes you might see somebody that says something or looks like Reggie or reminds you of him. So then it's like, oh man, like,
Like, walks like him. I seen a guy that walked like him. I kept staring. I know that guy was like, what's wrong with Grandma?
Yeah. What's she looking at me like that for? What's going on? She's a cougar.
Yeah, but you look, I can't say, hey, you look like my dead son, because that's sort of creepy too. So it's like, I had to keep it to myself. Yeah. But another thing, posting, making memorial flyers, being able to write.
Being an advocate helps too.
Writing emails, those things, even though they sadden me, because I just look at it, it's like, it's so many of us. I can make flyers from here to the day I leave here. Yes,
it's so sad because, before my son, December 31st will be 10 years for him. And before he passed away, who in their right mind, who would ever think it's millions of people that have lost their children, especially their sons, to gun violence. So it's like, we do not really question. Some people do question God, but, I think now we kind of have a purpose, for the legacy of our children as well, and maybe to even save other children or other parents. And sometimes other parents may, especially when it's new to them, may have questions that no one else knows the answer. So maybe in these groups you could write something and be like, oh yeah, that's the question I had. And then we could get bonding like that, and I love the groups. I'm so happy that like Village of Love, every episode I mentioned Village of Love, but they started it for me like about 3 years ago. I Cha added me on a WhatsApp group or whatever, and from that started it. And then Facebook now has so many different groups, but it's if I could help, I always say if I could help just one person, but it's like I have a meaning now, a purpose now for, even though he's not here, but I think he probably will want me to and be happy that I'm doing this for him, you know.
Absolutely, and he's proud of you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I too, my roots are from Village of Love.
Right.
We got Cha Cha, Tawana,
Emily,
you, Deborah.
so many of us.
I got some.
Paula.
There's definitely more, but like for me,
Jessica.
those 5 right there.
Yeah.
I can pick up a phone or I can text. Hey, I feel like this.
Right.
I need prayer.
Right.
I want to talk to somebody.
Right.
I don't feel well. This is not a good day, but I keep pushing myself and I'm resentful because you're still doing things, but you feel like crap. You need to be grateful. You know?
Right.
And I take myself through a lot. And you're right. You know, it gave us purpose. It gave us a trajectory.
Right.
You know?
In life.
Our sons brought us together.
Yeah.
Under no circumstance we would have known each other had they not been taken by gun
and
violence.
they're chilling right now together.
I know they are.
Yep.
And look at my mama. Y'all look at my mama. Y'all come over here. Look at our mamas.
Yep.
They're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy.
Yeah.
They're at peace.
You know, they didn't die in vain, and nor would I ever want any of our sons to die in vain or daughters. You know, because the podcast is usually because of I made it because of sons, because my son, but I also do interviews with mothers and fathers of daughters as well, because you have so many different things as far as domestic violence and different things going on that they need a voice as well.
Absolutely. I got one daughter in Miami Gardens Rose, and it's like it's an honor, but I treat it delicately.
Yeah.
Reason being,
because she had 3 children, right?
3. She has 3 children.
But wasn't she pregnant again? I know she had 3 children. And she's so pretty. Okay.
And a little boy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She is so pretty.
I changed the color to fit her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really do the pinks. I do my son's favorite 3 colors. Red, black, and white, and I put my golden touch on there.
Right.
But for her, I did it different because I wanted it to be meaningful to her mother.
Special to her mother, yeah.
She just had a 1-year angel anniversary. So, I made her a nice flyer, and I get joy out of that. Even though, people have asked me, does this trigger you? I said, it's not necessarily triggering. It just brings in me our children are out here being slaughtered by each other.
Yep.
And it's sad. It's sad.
It's crazy.
And it's like they're not thinking about the people that are connected to the people that they're murdering.
They're not. They don't care. They don't care.
But when it's their turn.
Exactly. Because if you put the shoe on their parents' feet, then but they don't think about that. I mean, some people are they just how they say they have angels on earth. Some people, they have demons and devils on earth too, that they're just wicked and evil, and it's like they can't help themselves but to do stuff like that. Like, that's why I don't understand with the law and the justice system. Like, you have someone that probably attempted murder or did take somebody's life, and they come out, maybe they have 5 years of that much, and they come out and then they do it again. Like, why they're not being held accountable? Why are they coming out after 2, 3, 4 years? Like, that's ridiculous. Especially when they're young,
Absolutely.
They're gonna do it again.
And the thing is, some of us never receive justice. I know mothers that it's been 19 years, 14 years, 5 years. Some cases have been closed prematurely.
Yes.
And I know it's case by case.
Yeah.
And I take that very seriously because, I try not to offend anyone.
Right. Exactly.
Some of us are going to get justice and some of us aren't.
And that's just, yeah.
It's a painful truth.
It is.
And I'm going to tell you, you ask, what else do I do? I write like poetry, and I want to share a piece with you really quick.
Sure.
Okay. This is something I wrote 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke out of my dreams crying, very upset. Like, God, I don't understand you right now.
Right.
You've been really good to me. What is going on? You gave me these kids.
Right.
I didn't know. At first, I was like, wow, okay.
Right.
You're really fruitful over here. Your house, you know how to fill a room, lady.
Right.
But then it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why take the apple of my eye?
Right.
So this was what I was led to write.
Yeah.
I said, God, I hurt. And God said, I know. I said, I cry a lot. And God said, that's why I gave you tears. I said, life is so hard. And God said, that's why I gave you loved ones. I said, but my loved one died. And God said, so did mine. I said, it's such a great loss. And God said, I saw mine nailed to a cross. I said, but your loved one lives. And God said, so does yours. I said, where is he now? And God said, my son is by my side, and your son is in my arms. And it's written by Tanya.
Nice.
And I dedicate it to all the mothers.
Yes.
Because we have so many questions. Some are answered, some are not answered. Some people don't have answers to anything.
Right.
So I'm grateful, even though people took a long time to start talking. It'll be 2 years this August 2nd for Reggie being in heaven. And finally, there's clues, there's solid evidence. They have the murder weapon. They now know who was behind the mask.
That's great. Amazing. Yay. Good.
So tomorrow, the lead detective and the prosecuting attorney, they're going to present Reggie's case. It's a second, they charge it as a second-degree murder, and that carries life in prison. I won't know today,
right?
But I will definitely keep you, Cha, Deborah, Emily, Tawana informed,
right?
Because the Village of Love is still my first love,
right?
And then from there, I formulated and started growing into Miami Gardens Rose.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
And and that's the same thing with myself. It started with Village of Love, and it started with always seeing new mothers, new parents, with the gun violence memorial service, to light a candle for my child, and it was so many. And I said, you know what? When I went on YouTube, when I did my little homework as far as podcasts that more or less what I'm doing. And I would see as far as it may be a mother that lost a child, and then they're basically telling their child's story. But I didn't see anyone as a whole that that had a child that they lost the same way to gun violence, and they're interviewing people, parents, family members, friends, to talk about their children that were lost to gun violence as well. Like I said, especially their sons. And I felt like it was a need for this. I wanted everyone to be able to get their story out there. I wanted a safe, heartfelt platform for everyone to be able to come, like I said, with no judgments, no hate, no malice, or any of those things. Just basically to tell your angel's story, and so the world could basically know. Because most of our children, no one ever heard of them. Like, people don't know unless it's somebody in the area or a friend, or it was in the news. Maybe for the first week they knew about it. But I'm talking about years later. Like my son, like I said, this year is gonna be 10 years. And for him, he's the main person that made me look at him and say, you know what, I want to do this for you. And then following all the younger, and even though your son was 32, but all the young men that we did lose to gun violence, and for them to be able to come and sit on my couch with me and tell their story, tell their children, tell us about their children and how they were growing up, and how they are as far as to the day that they passed away. And, we need to talk more about their siblings and their grandparents, because you have a lot of grandparents that also raise their grandchildren. And they're at a loss. They don't know what to do because they're a little older. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to start. And they need it. We need certain platforms for a support, for people to say, okay, yeah, well, I don't mind, and you feel comfortable enough coming to me on my podcast and talking to me about, your life and your child's life, and I appreciate you for that, and everyone
Well,
else,
well, I
and
appreciate you because
thank you.
you have a platform built from loss to love,
Right,
love to loss,
right,
and you're also a voice for the angel parent community.
right.
You are very important to what we have here,
Of course.
and you can shed light to it.
Yes.
And that's why I'm always honoring you as being a pioneer. You're the first Angel Mom podcast created for angel parents.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's easy for someone that's never experienced it.
Exactly. Well, how can you relate to me? How can you have a podcast and talk to me and interview me about my child and you haven't lost a child? You haven't a clue. Yeah. So
you don't feel my pain,
exactly.
But you do. You feel our pain because you're
yes,
us.
Ma'am. Yes.
And you're building here a legacy of love and a voice of healing. And I always got to give you that, because you're doing what you're meant to do.
Thank you.
Okay, because you turned your grief into a voice.
Yes.
Pain into a purpose.
Yes.
Silence into healing.
Yes.
And this is a sacred place where angel parents can speak, remember, and heal together. We get to share this experience with you.
Yes. Yes. And I appreciate you all for even giving me the time of day to interview you guys about your angels. It means a lot to me.
You're charming and resilient. You don't go away that easily. You will reschedule until we get our butts up on here. Okay?
Right.
You will make provisions. Okay, you got the beautiful, comfortable space.
Right.
Cha-Cha told me about. Mm-hmm. And you're making a provision right now.
Yes.
Allowing me to be in the comfort of my home and being able to talk and be comfortable in the skin that I'm in right now. Right. Because this skin, I don't want it to get tough. Right. Mm-hmm. Because that's the easy way out. Exactly. I want the skin that I'm in to be inviting, to be welcoming, and to have compassion. Correct. Yes. Okay? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So here we go, winding down. Is there anything else you want us to know about Reggie, or even any of your future endeavors as far as being an advocate, or anything else as far as for the people? Right now I'm a one-man show, one-woman show. Okay. But I believe in it expanding. I just don't want to do things with Miami Gardens Rose. I want to be able to go on visual walks with Village of Love as well. I missed this year because I was a key speaker at Survivor Speaks down south in Ghouls, so I couldn't make the event. Okay. But I want to thank you as well. You called my baby name. I want to thank Tawana as well. I had a rap for you. Thank you. And I will tell you, Tawana did her big one. Yes. And so did Cha. Yes. Because Tawana made sure all our angel babies were there. They were there. Yes, it was 27 of them. Yep. And I was in awe because when I seen your camera and you kept circling and circling, I'm like, we're all here. Right. Yeah. Right. So it was a great feeling. That was my first time going. I know I was supposed to go a few times in the past, but I don't think I was really ready for it. So this time around, I was like, I'm gonna go, and I'm really gonna go. And I showed out, and I was there, and my husband came along for the ride, and he walked with me. And my husband doesn't like being around a lot of people, so it's kind of shocking when he does. But anything to do with me as far as the support, he knew my children since they were basically born, because I've known him since I was 13, and had my kids, the first two at 16 and 17 years old. So he knew them since they were babies and growing up, and so he's always been close to my family. And yes, what I was telling you yesterday or the day before, we were talking about the Stars podcast, the round table. And I was mentioning when Jessica was here and Chacha was here, I was mentioning that I'm going to do a Stars Roundtable, and it's Mothers and Their Angels edition. So it'll basically be twice a month, and
the second and the last. I'm not sure what day of the week it will be at, and the time. And I did want you to be a part of the panel, but I know you were saying that you weren't ready yet to do that. But we could always do it that I have the people on the panel, and then you could always call in, and you could always be there as well. In attendance.
Or here's another idea. You know how TikTok has all that you can request to be on a panel?
Oh yeah.
You can add people on the panel. I think that would be a good
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It
I
would be
definitely want to
something
do
to
that
have.
because it's more than we have but so much time when we do it here on set. We have like half hour, an hour or so. But as far as with the round table, everyone could talk their piece. Everyone could talk whether it's about what they did last night or their future endeavors if they're entrepreneur. They could talk about their children if their child's going to graduate. They could talk about their angels. They could talk about anything, but at least like I said, we're in it together now. We're not going anywhere.
Absolutely, yes. We surely not.
Yes.
We're surely not. We're bonded.
Yes, ma'am.
Whether the world likes it or not, we're coming.
Yep.
We're not going anywhere.
We're
going to leave our mark here.
We are.
Because we're actually standing. Mm-hmm. We're not folding like a taco. We're standing.
Right, exactly. So, anything else? You have any questions for me? You have anything else as far as what you have coming up anytime soon that you want the people to know, or?
Well, right now, the main thing I have is a petition that's going about. It's a petition about Florida having a gun registry, which basically it's for transparency and responsibility.
Right.
People need to register their gun so we know, hey, this gun belongs to you.
Mm-hmm.
You registered this gun. You're responsible for this gun.
That's right.
Not your baby dad or not your brother or not the dope man if you want to swap a gun for dope. No, you register this gun in your name. You're responsible. And anything comes after that will come after you per the law. Yes. And I need signatures for that petition. You guys have been great. I have a few signatures from Village of Love and a couple from Facebook.
Right.
I really need to put it out there. Yeah. I'll share it with you later.
Yes.
It's on change.org. I will share it with you.
Okay.
If you can please share it. But Definitely. That's my main focus right now. Because again, I do a lot of emails. I talk to local politicians. I write Capitol Hill. I am not giving up.
That's right.
The R in Rose isn't just for resilience.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger than that.
Yes.
I ain't going nowhere until I see some change. We gonna do it one way or the other.
That's
and
right.
I turn into an Andy Dufresne. I don't know if you've ever seen Shawshank Redemption. He wrote a letter once a week until he got that library and books to furnish that library.
Speak on it. Exactly.
My fish to fry is bigger than that fish.
That's right.
And that we all got a fish in this fish fry. And we're gonna make it happen. Yeah. And if it takes one signature at a time, so be it. Right. But we do need a Florida gun registry.
We do.
There is none.
It's ridiculous.
There's none. Yeah. I'm working against ghost guns. I've been writing the FDLE, DOJ. Also, the CDC needs their restrictions to be removed and their funding to be restored because the CDC has the numbers. They are closely associated with the morgues.
Right. We
don't have that count. They do.
Yeah.
And they're restricting them. And it's important because, gun violence is a public safety.
And it's getting from bad to worse. It's every day you're hearing something. Yeah. And then you have the people that's doing it, they're so young.
Yeah.
And the ones that are taken away are so young too. I mean, there's so many of them. You haven't even seen 18 years old, 21 years old, and someone took your life. You haven't even begun to live life yet. It's ridiculous.
And when my son passed, when Reggie passed 16, when Reggie passed 18, Reggie passed 21, Reggie passed 25, I wiped my brow.
Yeah.
My son's good.
Right. Yep.
And there it is. It's unexpected tragedy. It's
you never
irreversible.
Know. Right.
And Gun violence isn't a game where I shoot you dead and you come back in the next scene.
Right.
You know, and I just feel
And that's what it is. They watch too much movies and stuff.
They play too much for
video games and stuff. Yeah.
And it's alarming. It's alarming. And you know, parents, they see it says mature. The M stands for mature.
Mm-hmm.
So you're buying a 12 and 13-year-old this Black Ops game, and they're shooting and killing people, so they're knowing where to shoot them to make them come down.
Exactly. And then
to take them down. Yeah.
Right. And then you have these children that are being bullied, and then they're going to the schools to shoot up the schools, and they end up shooting and killing people that had nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing. And these parents they need to take more accountability, and they're not like, well, first of all, a lot of times they're so busy working that they don't even know what's going on with their kids. They don't have time. By the time they come home from work, they're tired, so they go to bed, and it's the same repetitive cycle over and over. And then their kids are just out there to fend for themselves somewhat, you know, and then they get in with a gang member or someone that's not there for them to teach them the right way. And then they feel like this person cares for me because he's doing this and doing that with me or for me, you know? And we just need a lot more. The justice system, legislations, everything we need people like you, like Cha-Cha, like Tawana, like Emily, and Crystal Anlet. She's doing amazing as well. And also Jessica Jones. We need you ladies. And I thank you guys. I really do. I appreciate you.
And I thank you as well for having this platform so we can share. And I wanted to mention also Deborah Willis. She has Guns Down, Voices Up.
Yes, Deborah. Yes, I have a meeting. I spoke to her yesterday. I have a meeting with her next week. Yes, Deborah. Yes,
and she does the toy drives, you know, every year.
Yes.
She lives in Tallahassee now, and she travels all the way to Orlando. So I commend her for that.
Yes, Deborah. I'm sorry I didn't mention your name. Yes, I spoke to her yesterday. Okay. Deborah Willis and her son Terrence Tank Willis. Rest in peace to him. Yes. Well, it was a very, very beautiful poem that you read, and it was a pleasure speaking to you. Pleasure. And we have each other's numbers and emails, and on Facebook we have WhatsApp. So, you know, we're going to be bothering each other from time to time, but yes, you're really a blessing.
I love it. Bother me.
Yeah.
And so I will definitely send you that petition.
Please.
And please share it for me.
I will.
So you can read over it.
I will.
And I just thank you for everything, and thank you for having me on your podcast.
You're welcome very much. All right. We'll speak again soon. You're welcome. I appreciate you as well.
Okay.
All right. Stars Podcast signing off. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
The opposition is weak and rap is strong. This is all about no doubt to stop violence. But first, let's have a moment of silence.